So you see here at Herbalife, you can set your own pace and choose the option that suits you best. Qualifying to supervisor in the 1 month, 2 month, or anywhere from 3 to 12-month methods, okay? Now, even someone who is part-time can qualify to supervisor by placing smaller orders consistently throughout the year, which goes back to what we mentioned earlier. Every order counts. Now, there is a particular rule about the type of volume that will get you to the supervisor status. If you're qualifying within the 1 or 2 month methods, 1,000 of the volume points in each month must be unencumbered. Now, this means if you are using the sales volume from your downline towards qualifying, at least 1,000 of these volume points cannot also be used by your downline towards their supervisor qualification. Now, if you're using the 5,000 accumulated method to become supervisor, all 5,000 volume points must be unencumbered, okay? Now, this rule really helps to maintain the integrity of the marketing plan. Now, remember, encumbered means being used by. So encumbered volume is volume used by someone else under you to qualify for supervisor themselves, okay? Now, let's break it down this way. For example, let's say in March you have 3 distributors, A, B, and C. In that month, if you did 1,000 volume points, and those 3 people also did 1,000 volume points each, you add up their 1,000 volume point orders with your 1,000 volume point order. So now you have 4,000 total volume points, and you become a supervisor. Now you can use your downline sales volume towards supervisor qualification in this example because none of their volume is being used by your downline to also qualify as a supervisor, so none of their volume is encumbered, not being used by. Now, what happens if your downline is qualifying for supervisor? Because C qualified to supervisor in the example that we're showing you in 1 month with 4,000 volume points, B can use C's volume towards qualifying. But B must have another 1,000 volume points which are unencumbered. That is, they're not being used by someone else to qualify for supervisor themselves. Now, in the next example, let's say A only achieves 500 volume points. Unfortunately, A does not become a supervisor the next month. But A does have up to 1 year to meet the supervisor qualification requirements. Now, if A doesn't become a supervisor within a year, then B and C will move up to your first and second levels permanently. Now, how would you reach supervisor using your own volume? Well, here's one simple way. Here's one example using the 5,000 accumulated supervisor qualification method. Okay, let's say you're working part-time, consistently selling product, small orders, over a 3 to a 12-month period. And let's say, for example, you accumulate 600 personally purchased volume points in March at 35%. Not bad. But in April, you have a great month, and you get 1,000 personally purchased volume points, and you get that at 42% because you reached 1,000 volume points, right? Success builder. Now for May, you have another good month, 800 points, but you're back down to 35%, right? In June, well, let's say you take a month-long vacation in June, rewarding yourself for all your hard work, and you didn't do any volume, which is okay. But in July, you go out and do 600. In August, you do 500. And in September, get this, you accumulate 1,200 volume points, your best month all year. And remember, you get it at a 42% discount because it's over 1,000 volume points, remember? Then in October, you taper off a bit and you do 300 in volume. Well, altogether, in those 8 months, you've accumulated 5,000 personally purchased volume points. And guess what? You're a supervisor. You see? Knowing the marketing plan, working it, and taking advantage of the synergy of its parts, you could become a supervisor sooner than you think. And that's just working part-time. Now, when you qualify with this accumulated method and purchase product directly from Herbalife, your status is automatically updated to supervisor on the first day of the month after your qualifying order. So, let's get to the fun stuff, the benefits. Why become a supervisor? Well, we already mentioned the 50% discount, but let's break it down a little. You earn a 50% retail profit when you sell our products to consumers, and you earn up to 25% commission on downline orders. And now you're eligible to start earning royalties. Remember, we mentioned royalties earlier as an additional way to make money with Herbalife? Well, let's recap. As a supervisor, profits are earned when you successfully are reselling the products you have purchased to retail customers and downline distributors. Now, next, when you have supervisors in your organization, you can earn up to 5% royalties on orders placed by your first 3 levels of downline supervisors. That means you'll receive a payment ranging from 1 to 5% of their purchases. What an incentive, right? I mean, we hope you can see here the power of building a strong organization and mentoring your downline to become a supervisor so that they can mentor their downline to become a supervisor, and so on. Let's see how royalty overrides work by using an example. Let's say that you're a supervisor, shown here with a square, and you're buying your products at a 50% discount, right? And let's say that you sponsored A, who also achieved supervisor level. And let's say that A went out and they attracted some retail customers. They also started sponsoring people in the business right away, building a team, which is a smart way to go. And A's order that month was 4,000 volume points. Now, on the 15th of every month, the company will send you a check for 5% of A's volume or anybody that you sponsor first line as a supervisor. So 5% of 4,000 volume points will give you a 200 royalty point check. Great. Now let's say A sponsored B, and B ended up doing 10,000 volume points as a supervisor in that same month. The company sends you a check not only for 5% of A's volume, but now you're also going to get 5% of B's volume. So 5% of 10,000 volume points will give you a 500 royalty point check. And now let's say that B sponsored C. And C got great results in the product, started building a business, became a supervisor, and did 2,500 in volume. You also get a royalty check of 5% of 2,500 volume points of C in this case, which is 125 royalty points. A 125 royalty point check. Now again, you're going to earn 5% royalty overrides on all volume points. So in this particular example, your royalty check would be 825 royalty points. So in the USA right now, that's a little over $860. And keep in mind, that's on top of what you're earning in retail profit and wholesale profit. Not bad, huh?
We're spending a lot of time on supervisors because, in my opinion, that's where the business really begins. Because now, instead of 1 or 2 areas of income, you have several areas of income available to you. You've got the retail profit, you've got the commission or the wholesale profit, and you are eligible to earn royalty overrides, monthly and annual bonuses, promotions, and much, much more. Plus, as a supervisor, you have access to special trainings and events, not just locally, but vacation opportunities where people meet all over the world to share ideas, like Singapore, Bahamas, Rio de Janeiro. You might even have the chance to tour our new world headquarters in downtown Los Angeles at exciting LA Live. In order to take advantage of all these benefits, you do need to requalify your supervisor status annually. Similar to qualified producer, you need to requalify each year between February 1st and January 31st. And if you're not able to requalify, you just fall back to the senior consultant and a 35% discount. So, how do you maintain your supervisor status? There are 3 ways to requalify, and the first 2 ways are the same as the initial qualification requirements. Number 1, you can earn 4,000 volume points in 1 month, or earn 2,500 volume points in each of 2 consecutive months. The third way you can requalify as supervisor is to accumulate 4,000 volume points within the qualification period. This method is really for those supervisors who don't have a large organization but want to maintain the 50% discount on purchases for their own use and for resale.
As we said earlier, Herbalife has the best marketing plan in the industry, and you want to take full advantage of it by being aware of how it works.